Tonight, in this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe television, we are going to be taking you to Barimbeng. It is a locality in the Mongo division of the littoral region of Cameroon without roads, and students in Limbe, southwest region of the country, condemn violence and call for peace. Plus, we are going to be taking you out of the national territory, where voters in the Democratic Republic of Congo would have to wait for 1 more week before going to the polls after the date of the elections was postponed. We shall be right back with the details. Stay with us. Good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. We thank you so much for joining us in this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe television. Access into Barimbeng, that is a locality in the Mongo division of the littoral region of Cameroon, is practically difficult for local inhabitants. They have waited for several years now, and their roads are not being tarred. They are now taking their own initiative single-handedly to ensure that there is infrastructural development in the said locality. Innocent, as it tells us more in the following report.
According to inhabitants of Barimbeng, situated about 10 kilometers from the central town of Bakem subdivision in the Mongo division of the littoral region, accessing the locality and others is more than hectic due to the degrading seasonal roads.
Faute de moyens de circulation pour se rendre dans les informations sanitaires.
They complain of spending more on transport than feeding. Absence of health centers has left many to suffer with chronic infections, leading to high death rates. Constant electricity disruption and in all, poor electrification also affects the population adversely, with the worst being lack of potable water.
La rivière que nous buvons là, c'est le caca qu'on chie à Baré.
Schools are absent and the few available are dilapidated. Faced by these numerous problems, the sons and daughters of Barimbeng have decided to unanimously foster the development of their locality through their development association.
Aujourd'hui, le développement doit être endogène. C'est à nous de prendre nos responsabilités en faveur des autorités pour qu'ils nous apportent un soutien.
A major problem, however, divides the residents, an appropriate name for the community.
Et dans mon acte de naissance, c'est bien précisé, quartier Barimbeng 2.
But their objective remains intact, fostering the development of their locality with supervision and coordination of the senior divisional officer for the Mongo and the divisional officer of Bakem. Shore development, which is already being celebrated.
We take you now to the central region of Cameroon to talk about the National Commission for the Promotion of Bilingualism and Multiculturalism, which is still to fulfill or attain one of its key objectives, that is seeking solutions to the current socio-political crisis in the two Anglophone regions of Cameroon. But recently, its members were decorated with medals, and it has so far been described by some critics as a spectacular show. Once more, Innocent, as it tells us more in the following report.
Though the Anglophone crisis rather escalates in all spheres than witnessing an end, the National Commission to Promote Bilingualism and Multiculturalism in Cameroon, created to resolve some of the grievances of the disgruntled English speakers, shocks many by celebrating efforts and achievements it claims to have realized so far. Though many question what the Peter Mafani Musonge-led commission has done to remedy the crisis that calls for jubilation, applause and award of medals to the commission members, the president of the commission says it is in line with the quality works done in implementing the constitutional provisions on the practice of bilingualism in public institutions and corporations in the country.
C'est donc en reconnaissance de leur contribution
Peter Mafani Musonge added that his commission has not stopped carrying out documentary research and instrument inventory conduct, whose revision, coupled with a judicious use of the lessons learned from the Listen to the People's mission and from benchmarking, could enable them to propose new draft legal framework on the promotion of bilingualism and multiculturalism, plus living together in the nation. He also noted that major activity achievements have been recorded as concerns implementation of their plan of action from June 2017 to December 2018. Peter Mafani Musonge, on behalf of his Bilingualism and Multiculturalism Commission, pledged to overcome challenges of all forms, registered and embrace the 2019 financial year, which he notes shall constitute a year during which the activities implementation shall be accelerated so as to meet the head of state's expectation of a better Cameroon for all.
And is the Bilingualism Commission just one of the white elephant projects of the government of Cameroon? Certainly we would be coming back to the report on Femi Armstrong Sanda on what it has been able to achieve so far since it was put in place early 2017 by the government of the country. Now, students in Limbe, southwest region of the country, have underscored the importance of education. This as hundreds of students and pupils are being deprived on a daily basis to go to school or of education due to security threats. They criticize attacks on academic institutions. Schools have been the most hit as far as the Anglophone crisis is concerned. Davison Maimo tells us more from Limbe.
Despite calls from persons in high places, politicians, civil society, and international organizations such as UNESCO for school to operate hitch-free within the two English-speaking regions of the northwest and southwest regions of Cameroon, every effort can be said not to have met its objective, as schools continue to be burnt down, teachers attack, most recently the kidnapping of students, not leaving out the ghost town phenomenon every Monday, taking off one full day in the school calendar. For 2 years running, pupils, students, and academic family as a whole in the northwest and southwest regions respectively are still to have that conducive learning environment which they used to enjoy. It is in this regard that students of Government High School Batoke, during a campaign for the promotion of peace, living together and the fight against violence organized by the National Civic Service Agency for the Participation in Development, call for peace so as to enable them achieve their dreams.
One peace, one bad peace, so that peace can enable us be responsible people in the society.
The students equally castigate violence in all its forms.
Violence is not good to us, and we need to avoid violence and fight against violence. In our schools and our teachers makes us to be illiterate, and it's not good for us, so we should stop violence and protect the nation.
The principal, Madam Tita Langa Monjua Roslane, say Cameroon is gradually turning to something else if nothing is done fast.
A nation that was once regarded as one that immunites Africa with respect to peace is now slowly disintegrating. We are begging for the peace.
The representative of the director of the National Civic Service Agency, Madame Namondo Rose, added her voice, saying without peace, there can be no meaningful development.
We know what we are going through in the northwest and southwest regions of our country today. Please take out that message out to your brothers and sisters out there, to your parents, that we need peace, because violence will take us nowhere. We are destroying ourselves. We are killing ourselves.
The regional coordinator for the Southwest, Eno Daniel Agbo, assured the students that 50 students will be taken from Batoke for the 2019 conscript training. The ceremony ended with the distribution of cartoons of exercise books and the national flag to some schools within the Batoke community.
And beside the socio-political crisis in the two English-speaking regions of Cameroon, the Buea municipality, whilst in the southwest region of the country, also has the CPDM in-house squabbles to deal with. During a recent council session, Mayor Ekema Patrick Esunge admitted that the town has so far been plagued with a series of social and economic difficulties. He added that the peace inherited in the municipality when the current executive took over is no longer present. Derek Jato tells us more from Buea.
The present management of the Buea Council say the Buea that they took in 2013 is not the same Buea they are seeing today. The peaceful ride under which Mayor Ekema Patrick Esunge took his team disappeared in 2016 when the Anglophone crisis turned ugly. Since then, Buea municipality has been witnessing bitter moments. The history and story of Buea has made this town a target. For instance, the Amazonian leaders say if they must make one trip, that trip will be their trip to Buea. And on the ground, many say Buea Council is the highest casualty. The activities of the Amazonian Defense Forces is closing the revenue valves of the Buea Council. Some markets especially are not effective as traders are often chased out. Today critics say the Anglophone crisis has marred the hygienic, economic, peaceful and hospitable Buea. At a twin session to examine and adopt the 2018 council account and to deliberate and adopt the draft budget for 2019, Mayor Ekema Patrick Esunge, the mayor of the Buea Council, told the senior divisional officer for Fako Division that he is resolute to sail Buea out of these troubled waters.
We remain steadfast and we keep the momentum on.
He also highlighted that he is facing attacks even from within.
In most cases, they have been acting as a catalyst at the detriment of management. Administrative sanctions within our competence have been taken within our ambit of competence. It is also worrying to inform the session that over 24 workers have abandoned service for a minimum period of 4 months without prior notice.
And the 2019 budget for the Buea Council stands at 2.5 billion. And as the Buea people seemingly prepares for Christmas and New Year 2019, it is the wish of Mayor Ekema Patrick Esunge that together they can make Buea great again.
And during the said council session, Dr. Comfort Ojong Pot was removed as councillor. The unanimous decision of other councillors of the Buea municipality came just few months after she was equally stripped of her position of the 4th deputy mayor of the Buea municipality. On confronting reports say that political differences actually prompted the said decision. The town slogan was also changed from the town of legendary hospitality to the city of excellence. We of course will be coming back to that as well in our subsequent newscast. Now, Andre Mamafuda, the Minister of Public Health in Cameroun, has said that 12 months delay of the Bolova Gyneco Obstetric and Pediatric Hospital in the South region is due to financial difficulties that Cameroun is facing recently after inspecting the project, which stands at some 75% realization rate. He promised that the project is going to be completed soon. Details with Innocent Aze.
The Ebolova Gyneco Obstetric and Pediatric Hospital missed its delivery date, which was in December 2017. The 12 months delay to complete and hand over the health edifice, according to Public Health Minister Andre Mamafuda, on an inspection mission in this part of the South region, is due to financial challenges Cameroon has been facing.
If we noticed late in the progression is due of financial difficulties that we register in the country, but I receive high instruction that the different health facilities have to progress.
To Minister Andre Mamafuda, the problems hampering the realization of this project will be treated for the benefits of the population.
The main infrastructure are finished. Actually, we engage the commission and we confirm that the quality is very good, and this region will have a beautiful high hospital for the next month.
With a realization rate evaluated at 75%, the Ebolova Gyneco Obstetric and Pediatric Hospital shall enormously serve the sick, according to the Public Health Minister.
This promise given by the head of state will be a great achievement for the the next future in 2019, and we feel that for this region, it will place where we will receive the best treatment concerning pregnant women and children.
The health structure has a capacity to accommodate over 118 patients. This is noted as a reference hospital of the second category that equally has 8 health centers in the health emergency map initiated by the President of the Republic.
We continue to talk about activities prior to the Feast of Nativity that's going to be on the 25th of December. Next week, Tuesday, a few days to the celebration of Christmas. Prices of chicken at the Buea market have witnessed a slight increase. However, customers are not even in the market to buy them as a result of financial difficulties. Simanjikan Gabriel was at the market. He tells us more in this report.
Chickens will be the most wanted meat by several families during the end of year festivities. At the Buea market in the Douala 5 municipality, the usual ambience that is observed at this period has died down. We are not rich during this year's festive period. We lack chickens as well as customers, so I think there is no money outside. That is what I have noticed, because even the little we have is difficult to sell. Several business persons at the chicken sector of the Buea market believe the difficulties is as a result of the present economic situation of the country. Business is very strong because to get even a chicken is difficult, with prices slightly up by 100 francs. We buy a chicken at 2,350 francs and sell at 2,500 francs, and the customers also complain of lack of monies. Other chicken dealers say the fluctuations experienced in their business is because of the shifts of activities from the market to the supermarkets. Business has witnessed a drift to the supermarkets, empty places, and we can't make the same profit as before because there are no goods in the first place. A client who was at the market to get a chicken ahead of the feast is also disgruntled because of the hike in prices. I was here to get a chicken, but it is expensive. Chicken sold at 2,500 francs are too small. Even though many seems to have given up as a result of the slight increase in the prices of chicken ahead of the end of year feast, some chicken vendors remain hopeful.
We now focus on the kinds of hairstyles women would like to go for, especially during this festive period. Beauty salons and hairdressing points are now crowded with women. Immaculate Fogwe visited some of these beauty salons and tells us in the following report that Christmas is not all about celebrations. Her report.
Christmas is not all about celebration. What people wear and how they look is an aspect of the festive period. In Carrefour and Atoll, one of the busiest business points in the city of Douala, dozens of women are here to change their hairstyles and have that elegant look for the festive period. Seated on chairs in the open air, the outcome is what matters to them most. During this period of Christmas, women go for hair weaves with different textures, colors, sizes, and lengths. Owners of beauty shops and hairdressing salons have admitted that they have to stock their shops in order to satisfy the needs of all customers. Turnover, however, as these women explain, is timid.
You can see now we are not doing anything because we're waiting for them. Maybe they're waiting on, maybe they'll come on 23 or 24, but we're still waiting. There's people like love the style like Chami, Rasta, and this human hair now, Brazilian. Yes, that's the type of thing people like.
But the market is busy as some women are getting their hair done. Others have opted for manicure and pedicure, which they think will complement the hairstyles they have on. Women are, however, advised not to wait during the rush hour to have their hair done, as prices will definitely double due to the high influx of customers.
That is the situation in some markets here in the country's economic capital, Douala. Now, the Democratic Republic of Congo elections have again been postponed. The election, which was due to begin on the 23rd of December, has been postponed to the 30th of this month. The Electoral Commission says that it needs more time to put together the necessary logistics after about 80% of the voting material destined for Kinshasa were consumed by flames. Joseph Kabila is not running for the election as stipulated by the country's constitution, though he remained in power even after his mandate expired 2 years ago. Meantime, two former presidents, we are now talking about the election in Madagascar, have declared themselves winners of the presidential election that took place yesterday. Analysts have so far warned that they would likely draw claims or talk about claims of fraud in the country. Let us come back to what happened on the polling day with Babla Jonathan.
Voters cast their ballots across the Indian Ocean island of Madagascar to select a new president in a runoff election that pits two former leaders, Andry Rajoelina and Marc Ravalomanana. The election has recorded a low turnout despite the public holiday decreed by the outgoing president to encourage voters to go to the polls. 10 million voters registered in Madagascar, a former French colony ranked by the World Bank as one of the world's poorest nations, though rich in ecological diversity. After casting his ballot in Antananarivo,
je fais encore appel à tout le peuple malgache de venir massivement voter.
Andry Rajoelina urged Madagascar people to vote massively. He said he is a Democrat and will accept the verdict of the ballot box. When Marc Ravalomanana voted in central Antananarivo, he urged the people of Madagascar to vote and respect the outcome.
J'espère que nous allons changer ce pays.
He added that with the participation of all Madagascar people, he hopes with courage they will change the country and move her forward. 69-year-old Marc Ravalomanana was president of Madagascar from 2002 to 2009, and Andry Rajoelina, 44 years old, took over from him and ruled from 2009 to 2014.
That is Babla Jonathan there reporting, bringing us to the end of this first segment of the news. Up next is Talking Point. We shall be right back. Once again, good evening to you, ladies and gentlemen. We thank you so much for joining us in this second segment of the news. We're being joined tonight by an actor of the civil society, Mr. Ako John Ako. Good evening to you, sir. Thank you so much for joining us tonight on Talking Point.
Yeah, Mimi, the pleasure is mine. Once more, we're going to talk about issues affecting Cameroun and again Africa.
And the world at large.
Yeah.
It was announced in 2015, over 3 years after France has started releasing some of the hidden stories, facts, as far as the country's repression on Cameroonians during the colonial era or the war for independence is concerned. Now, close to 100 documents have so far been made public, according to the France's Foreign Affairs Minister. That was yesterday. That's the first phase of the operation so far. Tell us, what's your appreciation? How significant is this move by France?
It is not worth appreciating. I will tell you that since President Emmanuel Macron came to power, it has been trying to relax a bit French foreign policy, what the French government has not been doing as a tradition. Macron has believed to do that again. You realize it's not only on releasing the activities in Cameroon and Africa during the colonial period. France has equally shown intention of returning some arts and issues, edifices stolen from Africa during the war period, the First and the Second World War. And now we see them releasing the activities in the African continent. It means France is passing on to the phase of reconciliation. You know, France has had in recent time a damaging reputation in Africa that Africans don't admire French products, French people, French policies, and that everything that is French is a bad issue. Remember, again, one time the former French President François Hollande, before he came to Cameroun, they were feared that the Bassas and the Bameli case were going to launch an attack in Yaoundé. They were going to march past to express their mind during the war, what they used to call in the time as the Maquisards, meaning we still believe that we were maltreated, we were submitted to torture. Remember, the UPC's leaders, a lot of them were, in fact, entrangled, assassinated, both home and abroad, because of the activities demanding for independence of Cameroon, and which we believe it is a basic human right, to which France is equally an international party to many international instruments regulating the right to self-determination. If France is bringing these issues today, I believe it might be very too late, because Africans have a lot of other partners to believe in. Remember,
are you saying
again,
that nothing is going to change?
I'm just telling you that as an academician, as a researcher, you realize that Africans have already put their hope in other domains. China is coming in, Russia is coming in. We don't need France again to work in Africa, no matter what they will do. But I will tell you that if they come on a 50-50 basis, Africans will be ready to work with the French. But they will still come in the neo-colonial spirit that we work and Paris keep on developing, and that the Monaco and the Bordeaux keep on flourishing, and that education in Africa wouldn't mean anything for Africans except those who go to school in Sorbonne or Lyon or wheresoever you find them. They tend to deprive Africans of the natural talent that they have. You see what is happening. What becomes so hateful or at times disastrous is the implication of blacks in the French national team, which means in Africa we can't win the national or the World Cup, but when you see many blacks still being carried away by the French or the Euro to play for the French country and then give more glory, no matter the risk of this instrument, many Cameroonians will still remember Felix Moumier.
It's very important.
Will talk of the Ojolans, and we know exactly what they contributed during this French period.
Very, very important that you said you are a researcher. It's coming at the time when we've had historians, we've had Cameroonians talking about the importance of this process of declassification being carried on, especially by France, after the outing of the former French president before Emmanuel Macron, that was François Hollande in 2015. It was highly appreciated by many. Do you mean that declassifying or releasing some of these documents is not going to be of significance to Cameroon? I will tell you that many Africans declassifying information. Our history is really not known, especially by many.
Our history is not supposed to be told by others. If history is history, then history is best told by those who were involved in the history making. It is not by declassifying certain information by a foreign body that makes your history being told. We need to be independent. I mean, if France need to give us the economic liberty that we need, I tell you, we have the Port Autonome de Douala. I will tell you, there will be the same thing at Port Noir. And also, many of the ports in Africa are being controlled by French economic giants. And a list of what comes on the only that stays within the country. Many Africans, those who are of Francophone origin, before getting to the European Union, you need to have a French partner or a French firm to market your product abroad. Why this? Many countries in Africa will tell you those who supply logistics for governments and state establishments still remain French company. It will be difficult for you to find a car in Cameroun which is not Peugeot made within the government offices. And this equally gives us an impression that the French gave us independence by electing our leaders, even though they still dictate some of the leaders. Economically, everything is still being decided by
that
France.
is in the economic perspective.
Yeah, what I'm telling you is that
now, for the better understanding of our history, the history of Cameroon, yes, tell us what the role that France is supposed to play for the better understanding of
that is what I'm telling you, that if our history is to be told, releasing the information they are releasing is giving information to the people. How does this information change the individuals who think you have downgraded them, you have spilled them up of their own blood, you have amassed the world? I said this information they are releasing will be better if Africans will be ready to come on the table to say that France promised compensation, which may be given into millions or hundreds of euros. If France will permit a compensation for the ills he has done in this same history, because we know what French did, we know economically, politically and socially what the French did in Africa. Can he take a step? And you rightly somehow know that the chaos in Rwanda and the Rwanda genocide,
because they've done so for Rwanda as well.
Good, and this is what I'm saying. What becomes of the state? Remember, the president, so courageous as this in Rwanda, decided to change his language, meaning there was something hid within the French.
Thank you so much, Mr. Ako John Ako. Due to time constraints, we, of course, will be talking more on that in a subsequent newscast. Yeah, thank you so much to our viewers. It was equally a pleasure having with us in this edition of the 6 p.m. primetime newscast on Equinoxe Television. Wishing you a blessed stay in the company of our programs. Until we meet again, goodbye.